Okay, we'll call our meeting to order. Please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I swear to God.
I pledge
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, welcome everybody. This is our regular city council meeting for July the 14th of 2025. Roll call, please.
Weber.
Here.
Hannah.
Yes.
Moore.
Yes.
Maynor.
Yes.
Prusader.
Yes.
O'Laughlin.
Yes.
Jensen.
Yes.
Now I need a motion to approve the agenda as presented.
So moved.
So moved. Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Passes 7-0. Next, we move to public comment. Jason, did you want to come up?
Mr. Mayor, City Council members, hello, my name is Jason Kenniger. I live at 301 7th Avenue Southeast in Independence. I've lived there for about 7 years. You all know who I am. I spoke at the last City Council meeting. I had a meeting with the mayor, one of the city attorneys, and the city manager. With that being said, buckle up everybody because it's going to get fun. Once again, I'm here to see what you guys are going to do about this. I got this in the mail this weekend, and this is telling me that I have to remove my toilet, or the city's going to remove it and I have to pay for it. It is a repurposed flower pot. During my meeting with the mayor and the city attorney and the city manager, and it was a very good meeting, was about an hour long. I really appreciate it, but it was a very good meeting. I said that I wanted every city block driven to see other people that were violating or doing the same thing that I was doing so that they could be given tickets or had the code enforcer send out and be given tickets for that. And I was informed that that is not feasible because there's something like 100 miles of road in Independence itself, so it wasn't feasible. Well, I still want every block driven to see other people that are doing this, because if you're making me remove mine, then everybody else should have to do the same thing. So, also, in all the city parks, you have steel water troughs filled with flowers that the city takes care of, that are in the same areas where my toilet is. Now, if a car hits my toilet, it's going to shatter my toilet. If it hits that water trough, it's going to do a lot of damage to that car. So those need to be taken care of. The flower pots that are along Main Street down here, those concrete flower pots the city takes care of, those need to be taken care of as well, because those can do damage. But if you guys aren't going to do that, then you as a city are saying that there are rules for thee, but not for me, correct? All of that can do some damage. Now, in the meeting that I had, one thing that was brought up was, what if a person jumps the curb and hits my toilet? Well, if they call the police, they're going to get a ticket for maintaining control of their vehicle. That's a ticket that they're going to get because they've left the road. If they've been drinking or if they're excessive speed, then there's going to be more tickets. I don't know if you guys have heard of Christmas in July. My family celebrated it from time to time. I know there's a lot of ads that use Christmas in July. Well, me being the person that I am, I have brought Christmas in July to you city council members. That's what this box is. What I have brought to you is the curb that you guys are scared people are going to jump. That's curb that I picked up from the curb that no longer exists. And in case you guys thought that I may have intentionally damaged this to prove my point, these are pictures that I took before we even picked up the curb and put it in that box today. So I ask all of you, is this the mountain that you want to put your flag on? And if it is, I want you to know that I have a lawsuit typed up and the money set aside to file against the City of Independence for discrimination. When a city enforces an ordinance against you, but not against others in similar circumstances, it could be a case of selective enforcement, which can potentially constitute discrimination. Selective enforcement, when a government entity, like a city, applies laws or rules unfairly and inconsistently, often targeting specific individuals or groups while letting others who violate the same rules go unpunished. This is the second time that I've had a code enforcer at my house for two different things. Now, when he sent you the first picture, he didn't talk about the flower pot that I have with my sunflowers in it. That is a steel pot, 12 inches. 12 inches tall, steel pot, this big around. He didn't talk about that. And having a meeting with the mayor, and like I said, that was a very good meeting. I came out of there happy like you wouldn't believe. But one thing that I said to the mayor was, I said, you know what, Mr. Mayor, let's get down to brass tacks. Let's get down to what this is all about. I said, what happened was is the city had 1 or 2 or 10 people call up and complain that I had a toilet for a flower pot. And the mayor nodded his head up and down. That's what this is all about, is somebody didn't like my flower pot or my toilet being used as a flower pot. So then they sent the code enforcer out there to take a picture of it, to come back to City Hall, to look through all of your codes, to figure out which one he could nail me on. And that's when I got my code. So, I asked for the last time, what are you as a city council going to do about this? Because I have no issue filing a lawsuit against the city for discrimination. I have no issue calling the city about every single thing that I think looks ugly or could cause damage to a vehicle. I'm not working right now. I'm on disability because of a surgery, so I have plenty of time. Now, to the second reason of me being here tonight, I want to talk about the Independence Police Department. The police department and the lack of knowledge that the officers have. Again, referring to the law for me, but not for thee. My ex-wife was allowed to weaponize the judicial system and the law enforcement, utilizing them as a blanket while she broke the law. This lawsuit that I have right here is being handled separately. I want you to know that I am filing a lawsuit against the police department for deliberate indifference resulting in medical bills, cost of surgery, pain and suffering, rehabilitation, and lost wages for damage done to my shoulder July 2024. In April of 2025, I had to undergo my second shoulder surgery on my left shoulder to repair a torn labrum. A torn labrum in the shoulder refers to an injury to the labrum, a ring of cartilage that helps stabilize the shoulder joint. This injury can cause pain, clicking, or feeling of instability in the shoulder. This happened 4 weeks. 4 weeks after my original surgery to my rotator cuff. I was arrested by 6 police officers. There were 6 officers sent to my house. I'm 49 years old, prior service military, 2 honorable discharges, 2 Army Commendation Medals. Never had anything on my record except driving violations until I got divorced. And they sent 6 officers to my house to arrest me for violating a no contact order. 6 police officers at my home. My 8-year-old daughter witnessed the police. My 11-year-old son witnessed the police. I had 3 people tell the officers that I had just had surgery and they couldn't put my hands behind my back. But I was put in handcuffs behind my back and then put into a squad car where I was forced to sit for an extended period of time. And before that happened, I had Officer Christensen in my face yelling at me, even though he is shorter than me, about my attitude. That was after I had 2 officers threaten to break my door down, and my 8-year-old bawling her eyes out, and my 11-year-old. I have 2 orthopedic doctors that will testify to the fact that being put in handcuffs behind my back 4 weeks after the first surgery caused the issue of the new tear. I also have the whole incident on video. I have the receipts. I can bring them, and I will. I also had Officer Bose tell me that the only way to get rid of my legal issues was to sell my house and move. The only house that my daughter has known, she was a year old when we bought our house, just to sell it and move. I was also told by Officer Lau on the phone that in order to get rid of my legal issues was to sell my house and leave this town. And I know that Lau has sat in his unmarked car up the street and watched my house for no good reason. None at all, as well as other officers. So in conclusion, back to the original reason why I'm here tonight, I want to know what you are going to do about the summons you have given me about my toilet. And if you continue to make me take it down, then I will file a lawsuit against the city for discrimination. Because that is exactly what you're doing to me, because you have not told anybody else that they have to remove their stuff. If this is the hill that you want to plant your flag on, I'm ready to go, because I have nothing better in my life to do right now.
Unfortunately, we can't respond.
I understand.
We can't respond to you, and I let you go about double the time that you're allotted, so because I wanted to make sure that you felt that you had had an opportunity to talk to us.
Well, there's only one thing I want to say. I'm Jason Kenniger. I live at 301 7th Avenue Southeast. I'm running for mayor. Stop by and see me. The good old boy mentality has got to go. There's my YouTube channel. Stop by and see me.
Okay. Thanks, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You guys want a Christmas present?
I don't believe so, do we?
No.
You want me to try to piece it back together in the radius?
I would suggest you put the property back where you found it.
Well, it was all over my rock bed thanks to the heavy rains we've got in the last 2 weeks. We need your help.
Okay, let's move to the consent agenda. Item 5 on the agenda. I need a motion to approve the consent agenda, which includes the following. The minutes of the June 23, 2025 regular meeting, the Independence Brewbecue Special Class C Retail Alcohol License application with a tentative effective date of August 22, 2025 through August 26, 2025. The Chung Garden Special Class C Retail Alcohol License Renewal with a tentative effective date of July 11, 2025 through July 10, 2026. The request to hunt within city limits from Kent Young Jr. for October 1st, 2025 to January 10, 2025 bow hunting season.
26.
I'm sorry, 2026, I apologize. And the same request from Daniel Young with regard to the bow hunting season. First, do I have that?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That passes 7-0. We next move to the financials. I need a motion to approve the claims for payment.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Passes 7-0. Next, we move to the bank reconciliation, which is for information only. Anybody have any questions with respect to it?
Thank you, Suzanne. It's very helpful, especially like toward the end of the year, like this past year.
If there's nothing further on that, we move to item 8, which is revenues and expenses to date. Again, this is information only. Anybody have any questions or information with respect to that? Okay, hearing none, we'll move to item number 9. Items 9 through 12 are all similar in that they all relate to the Indy Storage, which is at the northwest corner of 20th Avenue Southwest and Bland Boulevard. First, we have a public hearing. I will now convene a public hearing for the establishment of the July 2025 urban renewal area.
I did not receive any comments for or against this.
Okay, we don't have anything on our sheet, so I will now close the public hearing, and since there are no comments, there's nothing for the clerk to add to the record. Next, I move to item number 10. I need a motion to approve and authorize the mayor to sign the resolution to declare necessity and establish an urban renewal area pursuant to Section 403.4 of the Code of Iowa, and to approve the urban renewal plan and projects for the July 2025 urban renewal area.
So moved.
Second?
I have a motion and a second. This would be any discussion with respect to this? Roll call vote then.
Hannah,
Yes.
Moore,
Yes.
Maynard,
Yes.
Crusader,
Yes.
O'Laughlin,
Yes.
Jensen,
Yes.
Weber.
Yes.
Passes 7-0. Next, I need a motion to approve the first reading of an ordinance providing for the division of taxes levied on taxable property in the July 2025 urban renewal area pursuant to Section 403.19 of the Code of Iowa. First, I need any discussion.
moved.
Any discussion
Second.
first? No, go ahead. Second. I have a motion and a second. Any discussion with respect to that? Hearing none, this will be a roll call vote then.
Moore,
Yes.
Maynard,
Yes.
Crusader,
Yes.
O'Laughlin,
Yes.
Jensen,
Yes.
Weber,
Yes.
Hannah,
Yes.
Moore, never mind. Forget them.
It passes 7-0.
Maybe that we should tell the public, this is for TIF, this provides the ability for us to grant TIF money for this development, and TIF money's a moneymaker for the city.
Thank you, Mike. Next, does anybody want to make a motion to suspend the statutory rule requiring the ordinance to be considered and voted on for passage at 2 council meetings prior to the meeting at which it's finally passed?
So moved.
I have a motion and a second. This would require us to have 6 out of 7 yes. This would be a roll call vote.
Maynard,
Yes.
Crusader,
Yes.
O'Laughlin,
Yes.
Jensen,
Yes.
Weber,
Yes.
Hannah,
No.
Moore.
Yes.
Passes 6-1. So that now that the statutory rule has been suspended, I need a motion to have the ordinance which provides for the division of taxes levied on taxable property in the July 2025 urban renewal area pursuant to Section 403.19 of the Code of Iowa to be placed on for final passage for adoption pursuant to Iowa Code Section 380.3, and to authorize the mayor to sign the ordinance.
So move.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. This will be a roll call vote again.
Crusader,
Yes.
O'Laughlin,
Yes.
Jensen,
Yes.
Weber,
Yes.
Hannah,
Yes.
Moore,
Yes.
Maynard.
Yes.
Passes 7-0. Next, we move to item number 12. I need a motion to authorize the mayor to sign a resolution that sets a public hearing for July 28, 2025 at 5:30 p.m. for the proposal to approve the development agreement with Indy Storage LLC, including the proposal for annual appropriation tax increment payments.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. This is all the same topic. Any discussion with respect to this? Hearing none, this is a roll call vote again.
O'Laughlin,
Yes.
Jensen,
Yes.
Weber,
Yes.
Hannah,
Yes.
Moore,
Yes.
Maynard,
Yes.
Crusader.
Yes.
Okay, that also passes 7-0. Next, we move to item number 13. This is a motion to approve and authorize the mayor to sign a resolution approving an extension of the moratorium on the enforcement of certain signage requirements. First, I need a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, in October 2024 and February 2025, we approved a moratorium with regard to the sign regulations in the downtown area. The thought process was we would have the planning and zoning work on this, we'd have the staff work on this, and we'd come up with some adjustments. We don't have it yet. The time period that we allotted originally is about to expire, therefore we need additional time, which is why this motion's in front of you. Any further discussion?
How long is this extended for, Mayor?
This is another 120 days.
Okay.
So it was originally, when we first did it, it was 120 days, and then in February, we extended it again another 120, and this is now a third time of extending it. We just haven't gotten through it.
Okay.
There's things that they're spending time reviewing, so.
Further discussion?
So I think it's important for people to realize this isn't an easy process, because one side of Main Street has property that extends to the curb, and the other side does not.
Right.
And so in order to be fair, the planning and zoning has to be careful with it. So I'm very glad you did that.
Thank you. Further discussion? Okay, this will be a roll call vote then.
Jensen,
Yes.
Weber,
Yes.
Hannah,
Yes.
Moore,
Yes.
Maynard,
Yes.
Crusader,
Yes.
O'Laughlin.
Yes.
Passes 7-0. Next, we move to item number 14. I need a motion to approve and authorize the mayor to sign the resolution that approves pay application number 2 in the amount of $157,754.04 to Eastern Iowa Excavating and Concrete LLC for the, sorry,
157,757.04.
5704, thank you. For the 8th Avenue Northwest IPF Area Stormwater Improvements Project.
So move.
Second?
Okay, any discussion with respect to this?
They've completed all the,
No, this is
This
just
is-
pay application 2. The project's nowhere near done yet.
okay, I was going to say.
Yeah, no.
I'll have an update
Based on
for
the
you.
flooding the other day, I think.
Matt will have an update at the time of the city manager's report on that.
Yep.
Okay, any further discussion? Okay, this will be a roll call vote then.
Weber,
Yes.
Hannah,
Yes.
Moore,
Yes.
Maynard,
Yes.
Crusader,
Yes.
O'Laughlin,
Yes.
Jensen.
Yes.
Passes 7-0. Next, I need a motion to approve and authorize the mayor to sign a resolution to assess property owner for Chapter 52 mowing of properties failure to comply. First, I need a motion.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion, a second. This is for 416 9th Avenue Southeast, and the city employees have already gone and done the mowing, so this is and the payment of their invoice. Further discussion with respect to this? Hearing none, this will be a roll call vote.
Hannah,
Yes.
Moore,
Yes.
Maynard,
Yes.
Crusader,
Yes.
O'Laughlin,
Yes.
Jensen,
Yes.
Weber.
Yes.
Okay, this also passes 7-0. Next, I need a motion to set a public hearing for July 28, 2025 at 5:30 PM to consider a rezoning request from C2 commercial to C1 commercial within the city of Independence, Buchanan County, Iowa. I need a motion first.
So moved.
And a second. Okay.
What's the difference between the C1 and C2?
Well, in this particular case, this is for 319 Social Club. In this particular case, the designation changes the setback. So it allows them to have a sign out front that they couldn't have if they kept the existing.
Generally, in terms of zoning, it's a density difference. So C1 would be less dense than C2, which would be a more dense, more urbanized, more commercial environment. In this particular case, like the mayor said, we have setback requirements in C1 that are not as restrictive as they are in C2 because of that, because most of our downtown is C1 zoning. So that's the reasoning for it, is to allow them the ability to put the signage where they would like to. We do also feel that C1 fits that area better than C2 does because it's not as dense of an area as some of the other areas are.
Thank you.
Further discussion? Hearing none, this will be a roll call vote also.
Moore,
Yes.
Maynard,
Yes.
Crusader,
Yes.
O'Laughlin,
Yes.
Jensen,
Yes.
Weber,
Yes.
Hannah.
Yes.
That passes 7-0 also. Next, we move to other business, item number 17. I need a motion to authorize the city manager to move forward with the purchase of a pickup for the Independent Streets Department. First, I need a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, this is a, you want to go ahead?
So this is a budgeted expense in fiscal year '26, but it's for a 3,500 one-ton single rear wheel pickup with a snowplow and a hoist bed on the back of it. Talking with Brad Esch about it, most of our vehicles that we have at the shop are Chevrolet vehicles, so it makes sense to try to stick with that from a maintenance perspective. This is also a situation, again, in full disclosure, like Mike and I chatted about earlier, the pickup is already here, so I hope you bless it. A little bit of a cart before the horse situation, but we're fixing that moving forward, that we'll go through the right steps, so.
Further discussion?
In that, we also have the plow.
Yeah, it's the
Everything.
truck, the plow, and the bed, all of it for that $73,000 amount. $70,000 is what we had budgeted in fiscal year '26, but when we just did the bond issuance that we did, there's additional proceeds from that bond sale. There's, I want to say 80,000, 83,000, and some change somewhere around there that was extra, so to speak, that wasn't allotted within that. So 3,000 of that can be allotted towards this to take care of this, and then the rest of it, we've got other places where we think it would be a good idea to move it.
Is there a vehicle we're going to get rid of then? or not?
I don't know off the top of my head if they're trading anything or not. Brad's not here. I can find out and let you know.
Okay, thank you.
There is no trade to my knowledge.
I said, I don't think there is, because I don't remember talking about any kind of trade, but,
Usually they slide over to Parks and Rec.
well, and honestly, at a $73,000 cost to the city, if there is a trade, I'd be surprised, because you would hope that number would be a little lower than that.
No, I thought, just like Kathy said, maybe it would get transferred over, so they'd actually be,
A lot of times, that's what we do, yeah.
Down the vehicle,
Transfer it to
but,
another
yeah.
vehicle
Yeah.
or to another department.
Any further discussion? Okay, again, this is a roll call vote then.
Maynard?
Yes.
Prusader?
Yes.
O'Laughlin?
Yes.
Jensen?
Yes.
Weber?
yes.
Hannah?
Yes.
Moore?
Yes.
Okay, it also passes 7-0. Next, I need a motion to authorize the city manager to move forward with the purchase of extraction tools for the Independence Fire Department. First, I need a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, Matt, do you want to talk about this?
I can real quickly. So really the big reason this is coming to you guys is because it's over that $50,000 amount. But this is not city funds that are paying for this either. There's $20,000 from Blackhawk County Gaming Association, $10,000 from the Buchanan County Community Foundation, and I believe Independence Fire and Rescue is covering the remaining amount of that. Yeah, absolutely, if you'd like to. So they've gone through a process of looking at a couple different pieces of equipment, and this is the one that they landed on, that the Fire Association and the volunteer firefighters landed on, and they liked.
Right, so it's like Matt said, it's mainly coming back just for that purchase authority, because we're over that $50,000 mark, but there
Yep.
will be funds from the two local grants that we got, and then the Fire Rescue Association, through our fundraisers throughout the years, have fundraised for it. So we're just, we've gone through probably a 2-month process of seeing different tools out there, having vendors come in, weighing the pros and cons, and kind of making sure no stones left unturned when we're doing it. And these will also, service-wise, these will match the same tools that we have now. So similar to like what Matt was talking about with the Chevy stuff, that there's different tools of extrication stuff. One of the factors that we factored in was just serviceability. We already have Hirsch tools. That was another point when we went through the conversation. So we've definitely done our homework on it, and I appreciate all the department's help going through that process, because we could easily just say, keep it the same, and they didn't want to. They wanted to make sure we checked everything over, so.
That's excellent.
Yeah.
Now, is this something you could take out on an emergency quickly in a pickup to use it as an extrication tool?
Yeah, so this will actually be mounted, we're gonna kind of shuffle some things around. This will actually be mounted in one of our fire trucks, but they're all battery powered now. The gas powered stuff's kind of gone away, and so this battery powered stuff, I mean, we can bring it in and operate
like
inside
in a-
buildings.
in a building
stuff
and-
like that. We've helped State Patrol a couple times in the middle of the winter, if they have a fatality or something like that, they have that vehicle in a secured facility, and we've gone and helped them extricate some stuff, and you can sit here and talk just like we are in a warm room. Not always do we get that benefit of doing it when we're extricating it during the wintertime, but yeah, it's kind of a new trend that's going that way, and we're really fortunate to get those grants to help expedite that process, so.
Well, thank you for seeking out the
applying,
grants, and
Yeah.
that's great planning, Blake.
That part's easy. It's just the boards that are, thinking that it's a value for them that helps us, so.
Don't give him too much credit. Who wouldn't want to spread stuff apart, tear metal, cut metal, all that kind of stuff?
It's kind of a win-win. Unfortunately, or fortunately, however you look at it, we did have a bad accident this weekend that those extrication tools were used, so.
Good.
They are used, and we have a whole building full of stuff that we never have to use, but through the grants and through your guys' support, we obviously have that equipment that we can help when we need, so.
I'm glad you had
Very-
what you needed.
Yeah,
Yes.
excellent. You do.
Yep.
Any further questions for Blake?
Thanks again, Blake.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, any further
Thanks,
discussion
Blake.
with respect to that? Okay, hearing none, this is a roll call vote also.
Prusader?
Yes.
O'Laughlin?
Yes.
Jensen?
Yes.
Weber?
Yes.
Hannah?
Yes.
Moore?
Yes.
Maynard?
Yes.
Passes 7-0. Next, we move to item number 19. I need a motion to authorize the city manager to proceed with the project and to take necessary action to update the signal and Highway 150 South and Enterprise Drive. First, I need a motion.
So moved.
Second?
Motion is second. We've determined that the light is our responsibility. as anybody that goes through that light realizes, it's constantly a problem where it's not
sensing traffic anymore.
right.
So we've had
Strictly
some
at time?
issues. Yeah, right now, it's strictly running on a time schedule.
That's what I thought.
Because we've had so many issues with it where it gets locked in one direction and then people sit forever and it's just,
Been there.
when.
Everybody.
5 minutes and 40 seconds.
Is that all?
Yeah.
Did you time it?
Bet I
It
did.
was not fun.
I was not happy.
When ILPT reached out, I think it was last week that we finally made it to the point where things had gotten to a situation where the only option is to go to a timing method on it because it just doesn't pick up anything anymore. We could do a camera-based system, which is similar to what it's got on there. It'd be a couple $1,000s less if we were to do that. From my experience working in other cities, radar systems are the way to go because they always work. They just have it's just a much better product. You don't have, the camera system, if you have a vehicle that somewhat matches the color of the road, the camera has a hard time picking them up. It's just you have all those different things. If you've ever ridden a motorcycle and you pull up to a camera system and you sit there and watch everybody else go through a couple cycles and then finally just run it, been there, done that. Just saying, I mean.
You're on that one, but.
It happens, especially in larger cities where the systems just don't pick them up. So, yeah, I mean, that's the idea behind using a little bit higher end one of the radar systems.
Sign up by the courthouse if you pull up there with a scooter or something.
That one's weight.
It doesn't,
I think that-
it does
I
not
think it's
trigger.
an induction trigger, so it's actually got like a magnetic field sensor under it.
Is it do you turn the road and go back around?
So, yeah. Either way, it's just not, we want them to function the way they're designed to function,
The
so.
only question I had was on that quote, it said, but ILPT can install that, right?
Right.
I know that wasn't included.
Right. Yeah, installation's not included in there because they're just providing the equipment and ILT is going to pull it and do everything that needs to be done. I put together, or I proposed a budget of $40,000 to do the work because 31.8 is what it's going to cost to get it from them. If we got to buy wire, if we got to buy other things, I mean, there's other things that could come into place that we may need that extra ability for.
Okay.
So that was why I landed at that number.
Further discussion? Okay, hearing none, this will be a roll call vote.
O'Laughlin,
Yes.
Jensen,
Yes.
Weber,
Yes.
Hannah,
Yes.
Moore,
Yes.
Maynard,
Yes.
Prusader.
Yes.
Okay, that passes 7-0. Next, we move to item number 20. I need a motion to start the 657A process for the properties located at 204 3rd Street Northeast, 416 9th Avenue Southeast, and 214 6th Avenue Southwest.
So moved.
Second?
These are abandoned for a long period of time, and that's why we've got them on the list in terms of moving forward with these.
What's our plan to do with these if we acquire them?
So, well, that's a great question that we need to talk about. The purpose of having the discussion tonight was just to find out if the council supports us moving forward with the process to start these. In the past, we've talked about some in closed session because there was active pending litigation, pending lawsuits about them. These would fall under that if we move forward and we start filing the things. When I asked the city attorney about doing this in a closed session this evening, I got a different answer this time than I did the last time I asked, and I was told that because it was something that was pending, we could. But anyway, these are the addresses that we just wanted to talk about and see if you guys want to start moving forward with more of these. We still have the property that's up there on 812 10th Street Northeast, I think it is. I've got an RFP put together or a request for qualifications put together that I need to get out to the realtors, and I just haven't got it done. So
These might be a little easier to get rid of.
Yeah.
I think so. Matt, do you have anything you want to add about these properties or?
No, only that we've got one property down here on 9th Avenue. That's more than likely not a property that we're going to salvage.
I was just going to ask if they were salvageable or they would need to be torn down.
I encourage you all to drive by them if you haven't.
They're all tear down material, aren't they?
I think the only one that I know of that
6th Avenue.
The one on 6th Avenue, they've put some work into it.
Yeah.
And we had an agreement in place and it didn't, they're still pending litigation on that, so I can't get too far into the details on it, but it didn't work out, we'll put it that way. So that's the reason now we want to move forward with just going after the property. That one could be restored. I think, if I remember right, Blake, there's still a hole in the roof on that particular property.
Garage.
The garage, sorry, yeah.
Then it-
Yeah, 6th
Then they had
Avenue
pipes that
Southwest.
froze in December and broke, and What kind of
So, I mean, the question is whether or not the inside of it's rehabable or not. My main concern with a property like that is that we go through the process of getting control of it. We then turn around and give it to somebody to rehab it, and then we find ourselves in 2 years right back in the same situation we're in now because they didn't follow through.
What about Habitat for Humanity?
Well, that or the school. I don't know if the school would want it as a rehab project. I don't know. I mean, those were the types of houses when I was in high school, those were the ones that the school went after, was stuff like that, because the bones of it were decent and everything else they could fix. So maybe that's an option, I don't know. We could find out.
I do know Habitat for Humanity looks for houses that they can.
Yeah.
And they're actively looking
Sweat
right
it.
now.
Yeah.
If we get control of it, we can certainly reach out and ask. I mean, there's a lot of different ways to dispose of it. It's just a question of what the council, and you guys would absolutely have the ability to weigh in on that again when the time comes.
Sure.
Okay, further discussion with regard to this?
All I was going to ask, I know that we've done our due diligence on it, I'm sure. The 6th Avenue property, I know, has had things done with it here in what I would consider the
Recent.
yeah, so I was, okay.
Yeah. The way that 657A works, though, is if there's nobody living in it for 6 months,
Gotcha.
then that's when it's eligible for that. It doesn't really matter. I mean, in theory, you could work on it and
Right.
be working on it every day, but if there's nobody living in it, it's
Understood.
eligible under that.
Thank you.
Okay, further discussion?
Matt, you're not just trying to get a hold of that 9th Avenue property for yourself, are you?
I'm trying to get rid of code enforcement issues.
We go ahead with this, start to taking it over is approximately what time frame?
It really varies a lot. It varies on whether or not the individuals, for lack of a better way of putting it, want to argue about it, or if they just want to sign it over and be done with it. We really don't know, and we'll get more into that as we start moving forward with them. The purpose of this meeting was just to verify that you guys are interested in moving forward with the next steps, and then there'll be more conversations as those processes start.
Costs a little bit of money to do the title opinion.
Right.
Which would be the very first step, so we can identify who's the owner, who has interest in it.
Okay, thanks, Matt.
Thank you.
All right, any further discussion on this? Okay, this is a roll call vote then?
Jensen,
Yes.
Weber,
Yes.
Hannah,
Yes.
Moore,
Yes.
Maynard,
Yes.
Crusader,
Yes.
O'Laughlin.
Yes.
It passes 7-0. Next, we move to reports. In terms of the Police Department monthly report, anybody have any questions for Dave with regard to any of the numbers that are on the report or the categories or anything like that? Okay, hearing none, then we move to item number 22, the Fire Department monthly report. Anybody have any questions for Blake regarding any of the calculations or numbers or anything on his report? Okay, hearing none, we move to item number 22, which is the Building Department monthly report. Anything with regard to with regard to
I
anything?
have one thing on that, with the comment on there about, it's too bad that the city can't seem to take action regarding this property like this throughout the city. Is there something we need to be doing in our codes to make this happen, our ordinances?
It was written on the,
It's either the last or second to last.
It's on item number 23, page 183.
I don't think it was intended to be on the report.
I mean, it's whatever's submitted when the complaint's submitted. So if it's submitted online and they type all that in, then that's what shows up on the report.
Okay, just for, anything else?
No, go ahead.
Just for a quick summary, I know you can talk about it, of course, but we had almost $3 million in project value. The most significant was that we've got the Walmart remodel for $1.7 million, which is great that they're doing that. We also have a new construction house over on Matthew Street for $225. That's big. That's important as well. And then one of the churches has a
$425.
What did I say?
$225.
$425 sounds better.
That's why I kind of was like,
HVAC on one of the churches, $450. That sounded like a lot, but
yeah.
and then there were 7 violations with 4 of them resolved. So that seems like Matt's been very busy, and we appreciate all
Excellent.
that. Other questions on the report with regard to?
Yeah, on the church one for 450, I reached out and asked them to clarify that number was correct.
Yeah, sounded pretty high to me.
I was like, that seems high, but then they said, well, it's the whole church. I was like, okay, well, never mind then. So,
Other questions with
Well,
regard?
with that statement on there, it's saying that like too many vehicles are in a yard, and where are we at with actually getting that ordinance that says you have to be parked on rock or concrete?
So I've got a list of about 6 or 7 ordinances that I'm working on now.
So that won't be coming up.
That's one of them that's in the queue, so to speak, yeah. I know Councilman Weber has given me some feedback on it. We likely are going to need to have some more conversation at a work session about it again.
Unfortunately, on that comment, it's not unfortunate, I encourage the citizens to do this, because it brings forward, it's transparent to y'all.
Right.
What that complaint was about. When I investigated the complaint, it was unfounded. The part of the complaint of too many vehicles. There's been some other complaints at that property, so I don't feel like maybe the complaint feels like the property's up to snuff yet. But again, I would encourage them to bring that back to me if that wasn't the exact complaint. As Deb said, maybe there were some other complaints about yard parking as the ordinance that we were bringing up last year. But the other aspect of that is I don't really have a good place or any place in our software to respond to what happened. So if it would have been, I would have said, I didn't find any violation of cars in the camper. They explained that to you. So
Thanks.
without modifying their comments, and I don't want to do that.
Right.
Thank you.
You bet.
Thanks, Matt.
Thank you, Matt.
Okay, thank you. Next is the ILPT report. Anybody have any questions with respect to it we can address to them? Okay, hearing none, we'll move to the council members. Brett, do you have anything?
I have nothing there.
Deb?
I was asked by a citizen if we have something in the city that when there's bumps in the road, if they have something that they can shave that off with.
So Brad Esch and I have talked about that a couple times. I don't know if we have any equipment ourselves that we own that we can do that right away, but I know they've rented equipment to do it before in the past. I can chat with them about it, especially if you can give me specific information on where it's
I
at.
could get
That would help me greatly, because then I can convey that to Brad, and if we can get a list, I mean, I don't want to speak necessarily for him, but if I was in his position, I would want to get a list together of all the places that needs to be done, then rent the equipment rather than doing them here and there and wasting the time to drive over there and get it, because it won't be somebody here in town.
Well,
We'll have to get it
I've only had a
out.
complaint from one road, so maybe it's not worth that, like you said, I don't know.
Yeah, but I mean, what we need to look at it, I mean, if it is,
Yeah.
because I know, him and I talked about it during the winter, because they get worse during the winter, of course, because freeze cycles cause things to heave. I mean, if you've been by the trail on 6th Avenue Southwest, it's popped up because of the heat.
Kids love it for bikes.
Do
I
they
bet
use
they
the
do.
same equipment for like sidewalks? Because I know there's some issues with sidewalks.
Not always. Usually what they're going to use for pavement, for asphalt on a street, is going to be something that's mounted on the front of a skid steer that's a little grinder type deal. Your sidewalk thing is going to be a little different equipment because it's got to grind concrete instead of asphalt. It's a different.
I've seen where they've done that before.
Yeah.
So I wondered. Okay.
Iowa Wausau does some of that or has done that, I think, for some of the sidewalk stuff that we've had them before. But I can check with Brad Esch about it. Like I said, if you can give me
I will.
an area where it's at, that'd be helpful.
All right, thank you.
Ralph, anything?
The only question I have is, I've had a lot of people ask, where is the city setting on First Avenue or First Street West? Because it was talked about, looking at the project with the turnabout and everything. And I said, we haven't really talked about that lately. I think it's kind of like just on hold.
So I reached out, it's interesting you should ask that. I reached out to Dan Kimball with AECom on the 7th of July, a week ago. I asked him if there was any information about that request, where we are with it or any of that. And he replied back to me and said the last we heard was the grants were going to be awarded 2 weeks ago at that time, so 3 weeks ago now, but that has not happened. He said he'll check with the grant writing team to see if they have any updates. They've been tracking additional opportunities as well, but the current state of funding is very much in flux with the current administration at the federal level. So it's still in the queue at this point. It's not a no, but it's not approved either.
It's kind of interesting.
Didn't we borrow?
I've been asked in the last couple of weeks, and you were commenting about it, so.
Didn't we bond, and we're just going to go ahead and do is it 10th Street?
We didn't bond for that. What we bonded for was to put, so Susie, you're going to have to help me out with exactly how that all worked. Because
Hold on.
we had money set aside.
Just to do up
So-
to spotted rows.
There was money set aside in the 23 bond that we moved over to do for the IPF project. We are paying it back, basically what we borrowed
Right.
for that. So, no, we don't have bond money available, but we do have
We have some available, but not enough to do the whole project.
whichever acronym grant with Intercog, we have that money still available.
SDBG.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, we have the
Too many
match that's needed for the 1.4 or whatever it was that we had. I don't remember the number exactly that we had with SDBG funds. We don't have the money to do the whole thing. If this raise grant was, or the build grant was to be approved, then we'd have to figure that out at that point.
So are we going to look at the spring to do the First Street West from the bridge to the,
At this point, I'm still waiting to figure out what's going to happen with this grant, because I don't want to, what I would be concerned about there is if we start even the first part of that to 10th Street and then something happens with this, we don't know what the status of this is yet, I wouldn't want to start that project until we know where we are with this grant. Because if we start that project and then they award the grant,
We could jeopardize.
well, then what, how does that somehow jeopardize the grant? Does that cause issues with the funding? I don't know what that looks like. So while I completely understand the road is not in very good condition right now, and we need to do it sooner rather than later. I don't disagree with that. I drive it almost every day. It definitely needs help, but we're just not quite there yet. So, but it's on my mind for sure, because obviously I just reached out on the 7th, so.
so if we didn't qualify for the grant this time, when would the next opportunity be?
Next year. It's a yearly cycle.
So next year, July?
Yeah. Well, it starts in January. Applications are due every January.
Right.
And then they're supposed to let everybody know by July. And as you can see, they haven't done that yet.
But they haven't awarded anything to anybody, so we're still
Right.
in the running.
I was going to say,
Yeah. This is done through the Federal Department of Transportation, so.
Does that still exist?
It does, at the moment.
For a while.
Easy now. All right, Matt?
I'd just like to applaud the fire department, police department, the streets department, whoever else for their quick response last Friday during the flash flooding event. Good work.
Took me a long time to get home, but thank you.
It did, but it was,
You didn't get a helicopter ride?
I was kind of thinking, do I have to go all the way over to Winthrop? I'm back, but I made it through.
I think it was worse over there, though.
I think so, probably.
Brian?
I just want to make a comment. I've had some people make comments to me in general about Klusner and the switch as far as garbage collection. All positive. On schedule was one of them, and they appreciated that. They also said it seemed that they definitely took care of their cans as far as picking them up, putting them down. And then the one that really got me was a comment was made from a gentleman here in town that said how quiet their equipment is, that his wife and him don't even know for sure when they're showing up, but their cans are empty. So I think that's wonderful. Good decision on our part and listening to the general public.
Thanks, Brian. Mike?
Kudos to the July 4th committee, another great celebration. Everything went well. Was down there for a couple days. Grandkids enjoyed it. I enjoyed it.
I was kind of impressed too with all the our baseball stuff going around town. I couldn't believe all the little kids running around with baseball jerseys on. It seemed like we brought a lot of people to town for this tournament. It's very nice to see.
Okay.
IPF continues to make progress, even though we've had some periodic. They've done concrete removal, grading, subgrade prep, and concrete paving since the last update. The testing reports on their concrete paving are all coming back very positive. Everything looks good there. Just before the holiday weekend on the 4th, they paved the loading docks and shipping area, which was a significant milestone, and it was able to be worked out that way because IPF had a closure or a shutdown over the holiday weekend. It made sense for them to pave it during that time so they weren't impacting IPF's operations. Also gave the concrete time to cure over the weekend so that, when they came back to normal operations on July 7th, they could go right back to work. So glad to see that's continuing to move along. The Buchanan County Economic Development Director, Lisa Kramer, emailed me this afternoon and told me that Debbie Durham from IEDA, she's the director of the Iowa Economic Development Association, will be in Fairbank and Independence on Wednesday, July 23rd to look at both of the Catalyst buildings that were recently done. This is similar to what happened when the other gentleman came through.
Thompson, I think.
Yeah. We'll have more details on that as we get a little bit closer, but she wanted me to let everybody know that that was coming up. Again, Wednesday, July 23rd, it'll be that afternoon.
It'll be early in the afternoon. They're going to have lunch out first, where the other grant is.
Yeah.
And then they'll be here after that.
Yep. One of the things that was approved in the fiscal year 26 budget was lighting for Lover's Lane. So I've reached out to IOPT, and they've ordered everything that we need in order to get that going. So hopefully within the next couple months, as their schedule allows, they'll be able to get that installed and get that up and running so that we have lights along that street.
And if other people have other areas that they feel that lighting is necessary for the bikes and joggers and et cetera along the trails and stuff, that's something that you should get that information to Matt so that we can look at that for future stuff as well.
I'd like to, at some point in the future, I'd like to look at lighting along Liberty Trail itself, doing some bollards, some short bollard type lighting along that trail to add. It's one of those things that we've got to have the money to do it, and that's always the concern. Other than that, I wanted to thank all the street guys for all of their prep work and everything that they did for the 4th of July, all of that lovely fencing that you see up when you're down there, the no parking signs, they do all of that stuff. So we really appreciate all the work that they put in to make that event what it is.
You want to do this?
I can. So you received a copy or a letter that was laying on the dais for you today from Cindy McCardle. She's our current lab tech, and she is retiring the 31st of July. That'll be her last day. She will have almost 42 years of service to the community, just shy of that. She started in 1983, not to date myself, but I think I was 3 years old when she started working here. So anyway, very, very happy to see her move to retirement. My hope is that I can get her here on the 28th of July for that meeting, and we can do a quick little ceremony at the beginning thanking her for her time.
We want to thank her for her long service with the city. Okay, the other thing that I have is that Deb and Ralph and myself attended the county supervisors meeting this morning, and one of the topics there was the EMS essential service levy proposal. Dan Walter did an excellent job of presenting, and the proposal itself is really well done. The supervisors voted unanimously to approve acceptance of the proposal, which means it will be on the ballot in November. Okay. Anything else that, Dave, any of you have anything else to report? Nope.
I can give, if you want me to give a quick update on Mr. Kenninger's
Yeah, sure.
situation.
Absolutely.
So the letter that he was referencing was sent out last week. We gave him until the 23rd of July to remove that from the right-of-way. At the end of the day, it is on the city's property, as we all talked about. So he has until the 23rd of July to remove it, because the reason we picked that date was because that was the date when the mayor and myself and the city attorney met with him. I told him that I would give him until then so that we had time, the council had time to review everything and look at everything. We looked at that during the work session, and that's where we are. So the 23rd will be the day. The only other thing I would say on that is anytime somebody, wants to talk about litigation and potential litigation situations like that, at that point, it's going to be routed through the city attorney, and he'll have to deal with them. So.
Okay, if there's nothing further, then I need a motion to it.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Sorry.
Opposed?